Hey friends, I'll give you a moment. I'll let you guys log in. Hi beautiful. How are you? Hello friends, welcome. So I should have put a label on, I'll put it on later, on the moon. We're going to talk about the moon. We're going to do, if you have your own, I'll remind everybody in a minute on the call, but if you have your own birth chart or you know your birth chart or you want to go on the website, you can go on my website and download your own birth chart for free. It's under tools and free birth chart. So if you know your moon sign, that's what we're going to talk about today. It will help you and understand what is going on in your own reality, right? So without getting lost in all the details and all the shenanigans and everything that's happening in the world right now and in the planet and what's going on, and we want to analyze and have a reason for everything, right? So when I bring up a different topic, I think, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, we talked about Saturn and where Saturn sits. It's where father energy is in your personality and your blueprint, but it's also your masculine, your driver aspect of yourself, your doing persona, your doing archetype, the way you do things, right? Your driver personality. Now let's talk about what's going on the planet right now, which is feminine, right? The feminine personality, the feminine persona. And this is hard for people to wrap their brain around because a lot of people are thinking, well, I have to be weak. Feminine doesn't mean weak. Feminine means open, expanding, receiving. Feminine is all about nurturing and taking in love and taking in energy, receiving energy, the ebb and flow, pushing energy out like the ocean tide and then bringing it back in like the feminine of receiving. And the challenge that we have going on is that when we look at our own energy field, we think it's different. That we have, one of us is masculine and one of us is feminine. It's not that. You're all masculine, feminine. You all have a frequency of ebb and flow. It's how masterful you become on your own self, on your own confidence, on your own persona of your weak spot. That can start getting weak because we haven't given enough attention. We haven't addressed the feminine. And the feminine in your own birth chart, if you know it, is where your moon sits. So if you know your moon sign, you're stellar. You're even more ahead of the game because you can see where you start going high and going low. What does the moon represent? So you either have your own birth chart and astrologically, and you know what your moon sign is, or the moon is traveling every 2 days approximately into a new constellation, okay? And so the moon energetically, wherever it sat when you were born, is where we sit, where we have our emotions about receiving, about the feminine energy within. Okay, and so the moon is a water planet. It represents water. It represents emotions. It represents feeling. It represents mothering, not just of our own mother, but how mothering you are to yourself. Do you give yourself TLC? And I know a lot of you are not good at that. And I want you to start learning how to be a little bit more feminine and nurturing to yourself. So if you have a feminine or nurturing water sign moon, emotions are going to be a little bit easier for you. That would be a Scorpio, a Cancer, and a Pisces. Okay. Now, if you are an earth sign or a fire sign or an air sign, typically it's not as easy for you, right? Emotions are not as easy for you. So go look for that moon sign and see where you get tripped up. Okay, you are less likely to enjoy emotions if you don't have a watery moon sign. But the moon is not going away, and it's how you master your own personal emotions. So you all have a moon sign, and it gives us the ability to look at us as a person, where your highs and where your lows are. Okay, and so where your moon sits, go look and see what sign it's in and what house that moon is in. And when you know the sign of your moon and the house that it's in, is it in the self-worth house? Is it in the money house? Is it in the communication house? It's going to help you learn how to see you. Instead of going high-low, it helps you learn how to ebb and flow, to go with the flow instead of getting all tripped up and butt hurt. Does someone hurt your feelings? This whole feeling bullshit is starting to get the best of me because you have to learn your own emotional state. Who cares about the rest of the world? Has nothing to do with you. Learn you, master you, own you, okay? And so anyway, okay, I digress there a little bit. So knowing your moon sign gives your power back, right? Because then you can decide, instead of going high-low, you can learn how to ebb and flow in that area. My moon, a perfect example, is in the 5th house of romance and children and fun. And so when I'm high, my kids are on par, they're happy, they're in love, I'm on good terms in my relationship, my husband and I are, you know, in a good place and we're not arguing and I'm doing something that I find fun or something that makes me happy. Typically buying shoes would do that for me, right? But that's a good example. Now, when my kids aren't doing well or one of them struggling, my husband and I are struggling, or when I am struggling with, you know, not having any fun, or I have no fun time scheduled, or I have no fun on my plate ready to go, or I haven't planned it out, I can catch myself getting pretty low. That moon will take you out if you aren't aware of it and you're not disciplining yourself for high-low, okay? And so anybody on this call, if you want to throw at me what your moon sign is and what house it is, if you know your chart and you know your moon sign, I'm happy to comment. I'm happy to even bring you on here if you know your sign, your moon and chart information, because it helps you, right? I think we are walking around acting like we are clueless and we have no idea why we came here. Virgo moon in the 10th house. Okay. So I know this beautiful lady, and this is a moon sign where it can take her down. If her career is not excelling, right? She has a Virgo moon sitting in the 10th house of career. And so when she is rocking and rolling and badassing her most beautiful leadership self out in the world, she is high, right? But when the career is struggling or the money is off or something's going on with career, she's low. Now we add Virgo to it, which is about having perfection in her career, making it all clean and perfect and order and organized. So when it gets chaotic, she can get frustrated. She can be a little snappy. She can be a little bit of perfectionist on those in her career field, that they're not doing it perfect. And you have to watch yourself. Does it help you or hurt you? Does that make sense, Julia? I'm happy to bring you on. I think we've talked about this, but here's a perfect example of it. Anyone else on this call, if you know your moon, please go ahead, comment. I love it. And so these are perfect examples of, if you go onto my chart or onto my website and you don't know your chart, I deserve it now to come. The link is in the bio. Just click on the link in my bio. It'll take you right to my link tree, and it says free birth chart. Click on it and do your chart. Go see where your moon sign sits, right? So this person with the Virgo moon, she's like, yes, all good, thank you. She excels at work. And when people go, oh, work isn't everything, your career isn't everything, I want people to just shut their mouth and leave her alone, because this is what makes her heart sing. This is what makes her feel alive when she's helping people in her career. And this is where people are getting tripped up. They're saying one cookie cutter fits all, and it doesn't. It's not how it works. And so if we share everybody, you know, opening up and going, look, you got to get out of your own way and understand who you are and what makes you tick. And so when we look at moon signs, right, you can have so much more power over your own self and your own life. And when you realize that area of your life is getting tricky, you step back. You take care of yourself, right? You start nurturing that part of you that feels you need to have that at a high, or else you're going to feel like crap. You decide how to keep yourself at an ebb and flow instead of a high, low, high, low, high, low. Now, when the moon is traveling and you have transits and people are like, oh, the moon is in Aries, the moon is in Libra, the moon is in this sign right now. Well, when it sits in your sign, typically when the moon is in Virgo in her 10th house, she might get a little jiggy. Doesn't know why she gets jiggy, but it might get her a little riled up because it's adding emotion to that topic on that day. Okay. So anyway, moon also rules mom. So again, we will have a hard time in our own mothering of ourselves if you're not looking at where you need to mother yourself and feel good about who you are in that area. So it's not something that most people are aware of. It's fascinating because if you look at Western astrology, they focus on your sun sign. Like, when's your birthday? This person who shared her Virgo moon, she's a Taurus, so she has a sun sign in the sign of Taurus, having a beautiful birthday. We'll all wish her happy birthday now. So it's coming up. So that would be your sun sign. But in Vedic astrology, in the Indian cultures, this Vedic astrology actually focuses on your moon sign because it has so much more power over you. Yet we don't look at it. I look at it as one of your hot spots in your chart because if you know that part of your personality, you won't get taken down as easy by anyone or anything or any relationship that you feel is going to hurt you. You have more control. You have more discipline over your emotions in your heart and your center. So it's something to dive deep super into this topic, because when you know it, it changes your game. When I know my kids are grown adults with smart, talented ways to get through things, I don't jump into them as they are going to be 5-year-olds again, but that's how my heart feels because my moon sits there. So I have to take care of me and go, wait, does this benefit me or them? I got to finish what I'm doing, take care of me first, then I will facilitate and help at this level. So when you look at it, now you go, okay, how do I treat mom? How do I see mom? How do I respect mom energy? And we'll look at that moon sign and it will help you understand how you'll look at your mother even in that way, or how you feel you need to be mothered or mother others. So it's a huge topic that we just neglect and act like we have no power. I call bullshit. So anyway, that's what's going on. And that's where the moon gets us tripped up. Now, if you look at the moon coming up, those of you who do not have not jumped into my Truth Tribe, on Monday, we're going to talk about the solar eclipse. The moon, solar eclipse, here's the sun. The moon's going to cross over and sit on top of it. It's a huge solar eclipse because the moon is going to sit in Aries. And it's going to sit on top of the sun. And the moon is water and Aries is fire. So it's going to get us all feisty and wanting to make a huge life change. So if you want to get on Monday's Truth Tribe, just again, go to the link in bio. It's easy to get on. It's no big deal. It's just fill in your information so you can jump on the Zoom. And we'll talk more about it because that moon is going to trip us up again. Not in a negative way. It's helping you wake up. It's helping you come to truth. Okay? Come into the truth of a new shift, a new reality. Aries rules self-worth, self-confidence, and self-value. Who are you? And if you don't know, this is how you start tapping in. All right? So again, I'm happy to tap into more moon signs if anybody wants to share their moon sign. Thank you, Miss Juliet. I love you for sharing. It was good to see you. And if not, if you don't know your moon, no big deal. I shared your mine. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. So anyway, the thing I also want to drop into all of you is if you are struggling right now and you want to live the next level and you want to get to the next level of your lifestyle and the next level of who you are, and you actually have to tap into, are you living consciously? Are you consciously making an intentional choice on every aspect of your life? Not just relationships, not just with money, not just with career, not just with your kids, not just with your health. We focus usually on one thing. I am launching, I've already launched it, went out today, this week, Conscious Creator Coaching. It's a private group coaching. There are only 20 slots, so if you want a spot, I say you go tap in right now. It is also in my link in my bio. They're available 20 spots. It's a 12-week live session event. And this conscious creator coaching is going to take you to the next level. So if you live consciously, everything will fall into place for you because you're consciously putting an intention out of how you want your reality to look. So again, check the link in the bio to set your spot and to make sure that you get in, because they are 20 and we will close doors at that point. I am going to end the call now because you guys seem to have gotten it all on the moon sign. If you want more, if you have more questions, just find me and I will direct you. You guys have an awesome week, and I will see you on Monday at Truth Tribe. Take care. Have a good day.